I mean, since we last spoke, Jordan, when we last spoke, if either of us had said to the other that the citizenry of all of our countries will be confined to our houses throughout 2020 and 2021, and made not to see our friends and our closest family in many cases, and not to be allowed to go to the funerals of loved ones, and much, much more, and that just basic things like shopping for essential goods would become problematic. If either of us had said this to the other one when we last spoke, we wouldn't be able to foreseen the circumstances in which such a horror show occurred. We've been in the middle of this horror show. We're still in it in our respective countries. And so again, we already have a very dangerous situation occurring where we are all even more in our solitudes than the social media systems have already made us. We've already lost almost all of our remaining social antennae. We don't have the ability to feel exactly what it is in a normal situation, like down the pub or talking with friends in a normal situation over a cup of coffee. We've lost all of that in the last 8 months. So it's a very bad idea.
There's nowhere that isn't a catastrophe. And so it's very easy to believe that there's catastrophe everywhere, even where there isn't.
Because in this situation, our most important duty, it seems to me, is to hold on as much as we can in this very, very choppy time and not fall into conspiratorial thinking or vengefulness or excuse of violence
or resentment.
Resentment, legitimization of extra political or non-political means, and much more. That's our job.
We could point out, that the Democrats are making a conservative argument with regards to the election. They're saying, look, the institutions worked. Therefore, we're the valid government. But before they can make the claim that they're the valid government, they have to accept the claim that the institutions worked. And the conservatives shouldn't object to that because the conservatives believe that the institutions are valid. And so it's up to everyone right now to maintain their faith in the validity of the institutions and to not overreact and to remember that we've all been driven half out of our minds or maybe more by this enforced isolation and the fear that the pandemic has produced, and that's also opened the door to a political catastrophe on the heels of the biological catastrophe.
Yes.
Everyone needs to breathe deeply and wait for the damn vaccination. It's only going to be a few more months before, with any luck, before this is brought under control. We don't want to burn down the ship just before it gets into port.